Yeah, and then there's the DEI press secretary telling you that the DEI vice president is the future of the party here. And so the future looks kind of dim for the Democrats here, but this is no shocker either. Kamala Harris, she's the original Hawk Tuah girl. That's the way she got where she is. And the party's going downhill if it's in her hands.
That was tough. That was harsh.
A regular on Fox Business, Alec Lace, made that lewd comment about presumptive Democratic nominee Kamala Harris, essentially referring to her as the original Hawk Tuah girl. Now, for those of you who haven't been following that meme and don't know what it's about, it kind of started after this interview went viral. Take a look.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. You get me?
Okay, so obviously he was making a reference to oral sex or Kamala Harris engaging in oral sex, even though he got some pushback from his host, his co-host on the show, Dagan McDowell, for being too harsh. He decided, I'm gonna go ahead and double down on Twitter, writing, did I go too far on Fox News calling Kamala Harris the OG Hawk Tuah girl, or am I right over the target? Now, similarly, by the way, last week, or this week I should say, Alex Jones had his own commentary about Kamala Harris. I mean, it's interesting because I do think that if you look at her record, there are areas where they could target her on substance, but they seem to be unable to do that, and instead they're leaning into this kind of garbage.
Oh, we'll just have some type of event in Chicago in a few weeks, and we'll just choose who it's gonna be. Though they're saying it's Kamala, and the Clintons and others have saluted her, Obama hasn't. And so that tells you that the fighting's still going on. And Hillary wouldn't have all these hundreds, I couldn't even keep track of them, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, about she had the popular vote and she's the smartest and she deserves it. So don't think they won't try to push Kamala out and put her in, or have Kamala, who's dumber than a box of rocks. She's basically a fleshlight. Put Hillary on as her VP, and boy, if she does that, she's gonna get JFK'd very, very fast.
Hey, don't scroll away. Come back. Because before the video continues, we just want to urge you to lend your support to TYT. You power our honest reporting. You do it at tyt.com/team, and we love you for it.
Referring to Kamala Harris as a fleshlight, that's what he did right there. Also called her dumb, which is hilarious from a guy who accidentally sent over all of the data from his cell phone to the lawyer representing the Sandy Hook families. I mean, it's just, okay, you wanna call her dumb? Fine. I mean, maybe look in the mirror for a second.
And accidentally showed the trans porn that he was watching on his phone to his audience. Oops.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair to him, he says everybody does that. Okay.
Do they?
Do they? Interesting. So, look, this kind of sexist attack against Kamala Harris is guaranteed to backfire. So there goes all the gains that you had started to make with women, and the only reason they were making those gains, guys. So in the minority communities, it's a little bit different, right? So for Latinos, I think Democrats took them for granted all these years. Never really delivered much, just have the wrong messaging. Latinos mainly care about all the things that everybody else cares about: employment, jobs, wages, healthcare, etc. So I think Democrats have the wrong strategy. But on gender, the only reason why the Republicans are picking up a little bit of steam is because Joe Biden was 281 years old, and everybody was just going, I guess I can't vote for that guy, he can't walk or talk, right? So I think that was a mirage. But now, normally you have a female candidate, you're just naturally gonna pick up some more women voters anyway. Plus, it reemphasizes abortion rights, reproductive rights, which is a huge advantage for Democrats. But now that you have a woman candidate, the number one advantage has become that Republicans, both in media and politics, can't help themselves. So they just keep saying the most sexist, misogynistic things over and over and over again. And what that's doing is it's reemphasizing to all the women in the country, they don't like you. And so they always think of you in sexual terms, never in business terms, never in professional terms, never in a respectful way. And you see it so overwhelmingly from the right wing that they're just going to give the election to the Democrats if they keep this up.
Right, what it messages to people overall is that you're never going to appreciate someone who's a woman who's accomplished anything in her life. You're always going to see her as one thing and one thing only, and that's just a sexualized being, and that's again not going to be appealing. People have moved on from that kind of mindset. The other thing I want to just quickly touch on is the Willie Brown accusations, because that has been one of the more prominent lines of attacks against Kamala Harris. So just to give you a few examples of what I'm talking about, let's go to this Matt Walsh tweet where he says, Kamala Harris got her start in politics by sleeping with Willie Brown. She became vice president because Biden needed a non-white female on the ticket. Now she likely becomes the Democratic nominee for president because the guy at the top of the ticket has dementia. She's made a career out of begging for handouts from powerful men, a thoroughly unimpressive human being. Then you have Clay Travis saying that Democrats spent 8 years telling us Trump's alleged sex with a porn. Are we really denying that he had sex with Stormy Daniels? Like, I mean, it's so obvious. But anyway, alleged sex with a porn star was major news. So how is Kamala Harris starting her career in politics as a side chick of a married mayor of San Francisco not a hugely important story? And look, I actually never looked into those allegations. I just thought, yeah, that kind of isn't a good look. But it is important to understand the timeline when it comes to Willie Brown. So let's go to graphic 5 here. A Reuters fact check in 2020 confirmed that the pair did actually date from 1994 to 1995, the year before Brown became mayor. Harris went on to become state attorney general before being elected to the US Senate. So kind of just erasing anything that she actually accomplished and chalking it up to, I guess, her sexual acts with someone who went on to be mayor after their relationship.
Yeah, so now we're talking about who these candidates dated earlier in their life. Well, let me quote Modern Relic, one of our members from a couple of days ago. If they're charging that Kamala Harris slept her way to the top, Trump slept his way to the bottom. So while his wife was pregnant and then while she was taking care of their newborn baby, Trump is sexually assaulting a reporter. He's sleeping with porn stars. He got out of Vietnam by pretending that he had bone spurs in his ankle. He can't remember which one, but he did say that his personal Vietnam was orgies he attended at the time and that he avoided STDs and he was super proud of it. Are we still talking about who people dated in the past? Because Trump is like a disgusting guy who brags about all the things he did that were non-consensual and that he did while he was married. So, okay, be careful of the conversations that you start.
That's actually a really good point. Not only is this line of attack against Kamala Harris off-putting for the swing voters that Trump would need to appeal to in order to win, but it also opens up the opportunity of Democrats to weigh in on Donald Trump's promiscuity.
100%. And the last thing is, Matt Walsh said, oh, well, she was begging for handouts from men. What do you think Donald Trump does? He went to the oil companies and said, please give me $1 billion. I'll let you ruin the country. I'll let you destroy the planet. I'll let you do anything, please. And then he went over to Miriam Adelson, and then Miriam dog walked him around the casino at the Venetian. I don't know if she put a little chain on him, but she's like, hey, bitch, if you want my $90 million, you'll do exactly as I told you. And Trump's like, okay, I begged you like I begged your husband, right? So what happened now, tough guy? Your guy begs for money for a living, okay? So don't spare me the begging guys for money, because that's exactly what every Republican that you like does.
It is kind of shocking how unsophisticated the attacks against her are, right? Because again, I mean, I thought, okay, they're gonna really double down on the immigration attacks, right? Because in my opinion, Biden did set her up for failure by tapping her to deal with the border when she doesn't have the legislative power to do anything about the border, when she doesn't have any power. I mean, the VP is really a ceremonial role and only becomes important if the actual president falls ill or passes away while in office. But I'll give you another example. So let's go to Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly decided to attack her, not on policy, not on her record, but on her smile. Let's watch.
It's a little much, isn't it? I think she's a little bit too happy. I don't mean to sound at all sexist, all right, but I think a man could not smile like that. Can you imagine? Men don't do that, and not all women do that. Anyway, sorry, but that's the way I feel. And I'm resentful because she hasn't done a damn thing for this stuff, okay? She was handed it, like she's been handed so many opportunities in her life.
Look, I know that this isn't a political candidate, but has he ever witnessed Tucker Carlson laughing?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, men would never laugh like that except when Tucker Carlson goes, yeah. What the hell is that?
That was,
right?
I mean, that was such a weak line of attack. What was that?
Yeah, and awkward smiles. We're talking about awkward smiles. I remember a certain bobblehead named Ron DeSantis going out there going, yeah.
Well,
okay.
And to be fair, that did hurt him politically.
Yeah, all right, well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, listen, guys, I'm ready for now a movement of my sense of where this race is. So when Biden went out, I said, this is amazing. We just went from 0% to 50%, but I didn't have enough information, and I was saying it's about 50-50. Since then, several things have happened, but this is the most important in my opinion. This is not a, lock it down in prediction or anything along those lines. We're gonna have a lot of bumps in the road, and Kamala Harris is gonna have some issues that we're not aware of right now, and that are gonna come up later, and that are gonna, my guess is, gonna hurt her. I don't know what they are, but that's the spidey sense I get from the way that the establishment in DC is acting about her. So nothing is guaranteed at all. But right now, I'm moving her to the favorite. Because these attacks that the right wing cannot help, they're gonna do this dozens of times. They cannot help themselves. This is who they are. And the more they do these vicious, stupid attacks against her for just being a woman, the more they're gonna turn off women voters, especially when reproductive rights are on the line. This is a disastrous strategy. Democrats are now officially, in my opinion, the favorites to win this race. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.